Sometimes, God brings a message into your life exactly at the moment when your heart is confused, your mind is heavy, and your emotions are scattered like pieces of a puzzle you can't put together. And if you're listening right now, it's not random. God needed you to hear this today. He needed you to pause. He needed you to breathe. He needed you to open your heart for a truth that has been quietly circling around you, but you've been too afraid, too unsure, or too overwhelmed to acknowledge it. This message isn't by chance. This is alignment. This is timing. This is divine orchestration. Because someone, yes, someone, has fallen in love with you. Someone whose feelings went deeper than they expected. Someone who didn't plan it, didn't prepare for it, didn't think it was possible, yet it happened. And the age difference? It didn't scare them the way you think. It didn't create the barrier you imagine. It didn't stop their heart from recognizing something in you that felt rare, gentle, powerful, and God-touched. Today, God is asking you to listen, not to your fear, not to the voice of society, not to the opinions of people who don't know your journey, but to Him. Because there are connections in your life that are not man-made. They are not accidental. They are not mistakes. They are divine assignments. And when God assigns two souls to each other, no age gap, no cultural difference, no fear, no insecurity is strong enough to break the spiritual recognition that happens between them. This person didn't fall for you because of your age. They fell for you because of your soul, because of your spirit, because of the peace you bring, because something in you woke up something in them, something they didn't even know they were missing. God wants you to understand something very clearly. When He writes a connection, He doesn't check the birth date. He checks the purpose. He checks the intention. He checks the heart. God doesn't look at the number of years between you. He looks at the number of lessons, the number of wounds, the number of prayers that brought both of you to this moment. And this person who fell in love with you, they didn't fall blindly. They saw your strength, your kindness, your patience, your loyalty, your resilience. They saw the battles you never talk about, the sacrifices you made quietly, the storms you survived that others thought would break you. They saw the light inside you that even you sometimes underestimate. They saw the side of you that only God and the deepest souls are allowed to see. And maybe you're doubting it right now. Maybe you're asking, God, why me? Why now? Why with this age difference? Why someone who is so different from me? But God is whispering. Because your hearts recognized each other before your minds could understand it. This connection isn't childish. It isn't temporary. It isn't infatuation. It's something deeper, something spiritual, something that goes beyond logic. And you feel it too. Maybe you've been trying to suppress it. Maybe you're pretending it's nothing. Maybe you're telling yourself that the age gap makes it impossible, inappropriate, or unrealistic. But your soul knows. Your soul felt the shift the moment this person came into your life. You started healing in ways you didn't expect. You started smiling without forcing it. You started believing in love again even though you thought that chapter was over. This person awakened a part of you that had been asleep for years. And that's not coincidence. That's God working through someone's presence. God is not bound by human rules. When He wants to bless you, He often uses unexpected people. When He wants to teach you something, He brings someone who challenges your comfort zone. When He wants to give you love, He brings someone who sees you differently than the world ever did. This person didn't fall for your age. They fell for your essence. For your mind. For your laughter. For the depth of your silence. For the way you love. For the way you care. For the softness you hide and the strength you carry. And the age gap? That's just a detail the world magnifies but heaven doesn't. God is telling you today, stop doubting what I am doing in your life just because it doesn't look the way you expected. This person admires you more than you know. They feel safe with you. They feel understood with you. They feel inspired by you. They don't see your age as a flaw. They see it as beauty, as experience, as maturity, as grounding energy. You are the kind of soul people fall for quietly, deeply, and unexpectedly. You didn't flirt your way into their heart. You didn't chase them. You didn't try to impress them. You were simply yourself. And that was enough. But here's the truth God wants you to understand. You are wrestling between fear and destiny. Fear tells you, it won't work. Destiny tells you, this connection came for a reason. Fear tells you, people will judge. Destiny tells you, I brought this person into your life, not them. Fear says, what if it goes wrong? God says, what if this is the blessing you prayed for? God is guiding you to stop overthinking and start listening. Not with your mind, but with your spirit. Because deep inside, you already know this isn't ordinary. You can feel the spiritual pull, the invisible thread tying your souls together. You can feel the warmth in your heart whenever you think about them. You can feel that they're different from everyone else. You can feel that something pure lives in this connection. This person didn't fall in love with you out of loneliness, boredom, or curiosity. They fell because their soul recognized something divine in you. They fell because God allowed their spirit to see your worth before you saw it yourself. And yes, they noticed the age difference. But they didn't run. They didn't hesitate. They didn't judge. Instead, they asked God, why do I feel this so strongly? And the answer they felt wasn't fear, it was peace. God doesn't give peace to relationships that aren't aligned with His plan. If the age gap was wrong, you would feel disturbance. But instead, you feel something else. You feel calm. You feel steady. You feel drawn. You feel something that doesn't scare your soul even if it scares your mind. That's how God signals alignment. The real question is, why are you scared? Are you scared because the age difference feels too big? Or are you scared because the connection feels too real? Let me tell you something God needs you to hear. You deserve a love that sees you, a love that respects you, a love that values you, a love that chooses you intentionally, a love that isn't afraid of what the world thinks, a love that comes from the heart, not the calendar. Stop rejecting the blessing because it didn't enter your life in the package you imagined. Sometimes God answers your prayers with a person you never thought would be meant for you. And make no mistake, this person means what they feel. They are not confused. They are not playing. They are not experimenting. They are not fascinated by the novelty. They have real emotions, deep emotions, growing emotions. And they try to hide it, but God is revealing it to you now so you don't push away something He sent. There is a tenderness in their love for you. A sincerity, a purity. They admire your wisdom. They respect your maturity. They adore your personality. They feel protected by your presence. You bring grounding into their life. You bring understanding. You bring something that feels like home, something they have rarely felt before. And even if they don't say it out loud, their actions reveal it. The way they talk to you, the way they look at you, the way they listen, the way they care, the way they remember the small things you say, the way they make time when they're busy, the way their energy shifts around you. These things cannot be faked. These things come from love. God wants you to stop looking at the age difference and start looking at the spiritual connection. Because that is what matters. That is what lasts. That is what defines destiny. Age may change over time, but souls remain equal. Stop questioning why they love you and start accepting that you deserve to be loved deeply. Stop thinking you're too old or too young for the blessing. God doesn't operate in age, He operates in purpose. He brought this person because their love will heal you. Their presence will strengthen you. Their spirit will balance yours. And your life will shift in ways you haven't experienced in years. This is not forbidden. This is not inappropriate. This is not accidental. This is divine timing. And if God is whispering to you right now, if He is stirring your heart with this message, if He is giving you goosebumps as you listen, it's because you needed this confirmation. You needed this clarity. You needed this reassurance. Someone has fallen in love with you. Quietly. Deeply. Genuinely. And God is telling you to stop running from what your heart already knows. Let the world talk. Let people judge. Let society misunderstand. They don't know what heaven is doing in your life. God is simply asking you to open your heart. Not recklessly, not blindly, but fearlessly, with wisdom, with prayer, with trust. Because this connection, this love, this unexpected bond, has a purpose, and you're about to understand why. And as you sit with this truth, as you let it sink into the quiet corners of your heart, something within you begins to awaken. A realization, gentle yet powerful, starts forming inside you, the realization that maybe, just maybe, God is rewriting a chapter of your life you thought was already closed. For so long, you convinced yourself that certain kinds of love were no longer meant for you, that deep connections only come once or twice in a lifetime, that emotional closeness fades as years pass. Yet here you are, feeling something alive again, something warm, something beautifully unexpected. And that alone should tell you that God is still doing something in your story. You are not too late. You are not past your time. You are not forgotten. If anything, God saved this connection for a part of your life where you would appreciate it more, cherish it deeper, understand it better. He didn't allow this connection earlier because you weren't ready. And they weren't ready. But now both of you have walked through enough storms to value gentleness. Both of you have survived enough heartbreak to understand sincerity. Both of you have matured enough spiritually to handle a love that isn't immature or rushed, but steady, thoughtful, and God-aligned. This person didn't fall for you by accident. Their heart leaned toward you because God nudged it. Their feelings deepened because their spirit felt something familiar in yours. Sometimes connections are old soul ties resurfacing. Sometimes they're divine appointments planted before either of you were born. Sometimes they're healing bonds meant to shift your destiny in ways you can't yet see. And yes, you both may come from different seasons of life. One has seen more years, the other has seen fewer. One may have more memories behind them, the other more dreams ahead of them. But none of that scares God. Because to Him, there is no too old, no too young, no wrong time. There is only the right alignment, the right purpose, the right soul. And when souls align, age becomes nothing more than a number that the world obsesses over but heaven ignores. God is telling you that love doesn't always appear in the form you predicted. Sometimes it comes through a person you did not expect at a time you did not anticipate. Sometimes it shows up looking like a lesson, but it becomes a blessing. Sometimes it walks into your life looking like a stranger, but it becomes home. This person sees in you a depth that others missed. They see the goodness in your heart. They see the softness you hide behind your strength. They see how you listen, how you care, how you speak, how you think. They notice the details, the small things, the things you don't even realize you do. And these things, your authenticity, your honesty, your calmness, these are what pulled them toward you. Not anything superficial, not anything shallow, but the essence of who you truly are. God wants you to understand that this is rare. Very few people see another person's soul before they see their age. Very few fall in love with someone's inner world before analyzing the outer world. But this person did. Their heart recognized something holy in you, something they don't want to lose, something that feels safe in a way they haven't felt in a long time. Maybe you've been pushing them away emotionally because of doubts. Maybe you've been pretending not to feel anything because the age difference scares you. Maybe you've been trying to convince yourself that this connection is just temporary, just curiosity, just coincidence. But you know the truth. There's nothing temporary about the peace you feel around them. There's nothing accidental about the timing. There's nothing shallow about the bond. And there's nothing weak about the way your heart softens when their name crosses your mind. You might not openly admit it to yourself yet, but your soul is already aware. It already knows. It already feels the pull. It already feels the comfort. It already feels the familiarity that shouldn't exist but somehow does. And God is telling you today, stop ignoring what I placed in your path just because the world might not understand it. You've spent too much of your life living for others, worrying about what they think, shrinking your joy to fit their expectations. But this message is your permission to free yourself from that. To consider your own heart, your own peace, your own destiny. Because no one else will stand before God for your life except you. No one else will explain your choices except you. No one else will feel your emotions except you. And no one else will experience the love God intended for you except you. You deserve companionship that feels heaven-sent. You deserve affection that makes you feel valued. You deserve someone who looks at you and sees not your age, not your flaws, not your mistakes, but your soul. And this person does. They admire your maturity, not because it's older, but because it's stable. They admire your perspective, not because you've lived more years, but because you've lived with awareness. They admire your calmness, your grounding energy, your emotional intelligence, your ability to love without chaos. These qualities are rare, not bound by age but shaped by character. This person isn't attracted to you because of age, they're attracted to you despite it. The age gap isn't an obstacle to them. If anything, it's a reflection of how deeply they are drawn to who you are as a human being. But you also need to know this. They think about the age difference too, not with fear, but with respect. They don't want to dishonor you. They don't want to overwhelm you. They don't want to rush you. They are conscious of your comfort, your feelings, your boundaries. That respect is love. That gentleness is love. That carefulness is love. God wants you to know that when someone's love comes with compassion, patience, and sincerity, it's not infatuation, it's intentional. Don't be afraid of something God Himself planted. Don't sabotage a blessing because of overthinking. Don't reject a connection heaven approved just because earth may question it. People will always talk. They talk when you're lonely. They talk when you're healing. They talk when you're growing. They talk when you're blessed. They talk no matter what. But God doesn't measure your life by their opinions. God measures your life by your purpose, by your heart, by your obedience, by your growth, by the way you treat others, by the love you allow into your life. This person is not entering your life to harm you. They are entering your life to teach you, support you, uplift you, comfort you, and possibly, even if you're afraid to admit it, love you deeply. You don't have to make decisions immediately. You don't have to label anything. You don't have to jump into the unknown without peace. Simply allow your heart to be open. Allow God to guide each next step. Allow the connection to unfold naturally, without fear, without pressure. Sometimes God sends someone who is meant to restore your faith and love. Sometimes He sends someone who awakens your joy again. Sometimes He sends someone younger or older because your souls are aligned, even if your ages are not. And if God is nudging your spirit as you hear this, if you feel a warmth in your heart, if you feel clarity rising inside you, don't ignore it. God reveals truth in moments like these. He confirms things in the quiet places of your heart long before they happen in the physical world. This message reached you today because heaven knows your confusion. Heaven knows your fears. Heaven knows your heart has been battling logic and emotion. And heaven is giving you this reassurance so you don't walk away from something meaningful out of fear. You are allowed to feel loved. You are allowed to feel chosen. You are allowed to feel special. You are allowed to experience a love story that doesn't look like everyone else's. Your journey is unique because your soul is unique. This person is not intimidated by your age. They're inspired by your presence. They're drawn to your wisdom. They're softened by your kindness. They're grounded by your energy. They're uplifted by your faith. And they genuinely want to be part of your life, not for a moment, but for a meaningful period of time that God hasn't revealed yet. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself receive. Let yourself understand that not all age difference connections are wrong. Some are divine. Some are healing. Some are purposeful. Some are written long before you even meet. You don't have to rush, but you also shouldn't shut the door out of fear. God is guiding both of you. God is preparing both of you. God is softening both of your hearts. God is aligning your paths slowly, gently, beautifully. Trust Him, not your fear. There is more to this story than you realize. More meaning, more healing, more destiny. And the way this person feels about you, it's not fading. It's growing. It's deepening. It's strengthening. Let God continue writing this chapter. It's only just beginning. And as this chapter continues quietly unfolding in your life, God wants you to understand something even deeper. Love that arrives unexpectedly is often the love that carries the greatest purpose. Not because it was planned, not because it was logical, but because it was destined. And destiny rarely asks for permission before it enters your life. It simply arrives. Softly, slowly, silently. And then suddenly it becomes something you can no longer ignore. You may not fully understand why this person fell so deeply for you, but God does. He knows the hidden prayers you never spoke out loud. He knows the silent loneliness you carried even when you pretended to be strong. He knows how many nights you whispered, "God, if love is still meant for me, let it be real this time." And He heard you. This connection is not an accident, it is an answer. God is reminding you that He never gives you what you are not ready for. If this person has come into your life with sincerity, with gentleness, with warmth, it's because your heart is in a place where it can finally receive it. Not the rushed kind of love, not the shallow kind, but the kind that feels like a slow sunrise after a long night. The kind that doesn't overwhelm you, but quietly heals you. The kind that doesn't demand anything from you, but still pours into you. The kind that doesn't force itself, but still stays. This person didn't choose you because of convenience. They chose you because something about your presence feels divinely orchestrated. They feel peace with you, not pressure. They feel clarity, not confusion. They feel comfort, not chaos. And that alone makes this connection different from anything they've experienced before. You are someone who brings balance into their life, someone who grounds them, someone who makes them feel safe in a world that often feels unpredictable. They may be younger or older, but their soul has recognized yours. And that recognition is something you can't fake, can't force, can't manufacture. It's something that exists in the spiritual realm long before the mind can make sense of it. That's why they feel drawn to you in ways they cannot fully explain. That's why they care for you in ways that feel unusually deep. That's why they look at you the way they do, like they've found something rare. But here's what God needs you to know: this connection isn't here to complicate your life. It's here to grow you, soften you, strengthen you, and remind you that you are still capable of receiving love that is pure and genuine. You haven't missed your moment. You haven't lost your chance. You haven't outgrown the possibility of being loved again. If anything, you are stepping into a part of your life where love will feel more meaningful than ever. You don't need to rush into decisions. You don't need to label anything prematurely. You don't need to force clarity. Just let the connection breathe. Let it mature naturally. Let it unfold the way God intends. Because this person, whether they express it openly or hide it behind nervous smiles and gentle conversations, is carrying real feelings for you. Feelings that didn't appear overnight. Feelings that have been growing quietly, steadily, beautifully. They admire your strength. They admire your wisdom. They admire your journey. They admire how you navigate life with grace, even after all you've been through. And in their heart, they see the age difference not as a barrier, but as a blessing. Because to them, your years represent depth. Your experiences represent wisdom. Your maturity represents stability. And your soul represents a kind of love they have been searching for without even realizing it. God is asking you to look beyond the numbers and see the connection for what it truly is, a divine thread woven between two souls who were never supposed to meet, yet somehow did. And not just meet, but understand each other in ways that feel strangely natural. You don't need to fear what others will think. The people who truly love you will want to see you happy. The people who judge you are not the ones God assigned to your destiny. And the people who speak negatively are speaking from their own limitations, not God's plan for your life. The only voice that matters is the one speaking to your spirit right now, the voice telling you that you are worthy of love in all seasons of life. That you are allowed to feel chosen. That you are allowed to be admired. That you are allowed to experience a connection that feels heaven-sent, even if the world doesn't understand it. This person is not in your life to replace anything or anyone. They're here to add something you didn't know you were missing. They're here to show you a new kind of affection, a new kind of understanding, a new kind of emotional warmth. They're here to walk beside you, not ahead of you or behind you. And they're here with intention, not impulse.